In the cold silence of space, an empire spread its wings across 1,000 stars. It was the Zeroth Dominion, a race older than most suns, proud of their strength and history. They had crushed countless enemies, erased entire civilizations, and ruled without challenge. To them, fear was nothing new. They had seen it in every weak species they conquered. They believed they were the masters of terror, but they were wrong. One evening, aboard the command ship Zeroth Prime, the Fleet Lords gathered around a strange discovery. The Dominion's long-range scanners had picked up something unusual in the outer rim of the galaxy, a weak transmission, faint and broken, but still alive. Admiral Kraft leaned forward, his scales catching the dim light. "Increase volume. Let us hear this relic." Static filled the chamber. Then, through the noise, came a human voice. Old, cracked, but clear enough to send an odd chill through the room. "This is Captain Elias Ward, final transmission. To any who hear this, do not come to Sol, do not seek Earth. What waits here is not survival, it is judgment. Remember our warning. Fear the silence." The voice cut off, swallowed by the hiss of static. The chamber went quiet. For a moment, none of the alien commanders spoke. Then they laughed. "Pathetic," sneered Lord Zern, his spines rattling. "The humans were always dramatic, no wonder they vanished. Weak, fragile, and afraid of their own shadows." Another commander joined in, slamming his claw on the table. "Fear the silence? They must have gone mad before extinction. Their species could not endure the weight of war. It is why they are dust now," but not everyone laughed. Young strategist. Vera kept her eyes on the fading signal. Something in that human voice had struck her. It was not the sound of weakness. It was not a plea. It was a warning. And that frightened her more than she cared to admit. She whispered, almost to herself, "Why would a dead race leave a message like this?" The Admiral dismissed her concerns. "It is nothing but a ghost, Vera. A forgotten echo from a species. Long gone. We will investigate, of course, but do not let superstition cloud your mind." The Dominion had fought humans once, centuries ago. At that time, humans were newcomers to the stars. Their fleets were small, their colonies scattered, their weapons primitive compared to the power of the Dominion. Yet, the humans had fought with a kind of madness. They did not retreat even when defeat was certain. They did not surrender even when entire worlds burned. They resisted until finally they disappeared. For centuries, the galaxy assumed humanity had perished. Some said disease, others said internal war. But the truth was unknown. And now this signal had returned. A fleet was dispatched. 30 warships, armed with the Dominion's most advanced weapons, began their journey toward the Sol system. As they left, many mocked the mission. A graveyard expedition, they called it. Perhaps we will find human bones floating among the stars. But strategist Vera could not laugh. Something gnawed at her thoughts. She had studied every war record of humanity, every fragment of their history. There was something different about them. Other species screamed when they faced conquest. Humans did not. Other species begged. Humans fought until the last breath. And now a warning echoed across centuries. It made no sense that the journey took weeks. During that time, the fleet began receiving strange disturbances. At first, it was only static in the comms. Then came the whispers, broken fragments of human speech carried through deep space. One night, aboard the ship Iron Fang, a young officer jolted awake in his quarters. He swore he heard knocking on the walls of his cabin. When he opened the door, the corridor was empty. Yet, when he returned to his bed, the sound began again, slow, deliberate knocks. The officer filed a report, but the Admiral dismissed it as stress from deep space travel. Still, more officers complained. Shadows moving in sealed rooms. Glimpses of human figures walking in empty corridors. Voices whispering through the intercom, repeating one phrase over and over: "Fear the silence." Finally, the fleet entered the Sol system. What they found did not match their expectations. Earth was still there, floating in the black void, but it was not the blue jewel of legend. It was scarred, burned, and lifeless. Great cities lay in ruins, their skeletons reaching into the sky like broken hands. The oceans were dark and heavy, lifeless. No signal of life could be found. The aliens expected relief at this sight. Instead, unease settled over them. The planet was too quiet. Not just dead silent. The fleet began scanning the ruins. Strange readings appeared. Energy traces that did not match any known weapon. Structures that seemed built not for defense, but for something else, something the scanners could not explain. Then, one of the smaller ships reported movement. "Admiral." Kraft's voice thundered, "Report. What have you seen?" The reply came broken, filled with static. "Contact. Unknown." It moved too fast. Its silence. The entire ship vanished from the fleet's formation. No explosion. No debris. Just gone. The commanders erupted in confusion. What weapon could erase a ship so cleanly? No traces at all. This is impossible. Strategist Vera's blood ran cold. She remembered the warning. Do not come to Sol. Over the next 3 days, more ships disappeared. Always the same pattern: no battle, no wreckage, just silence. At night, the crews heard human voices whispering in their ears. Sometimes in English, sometimes in languages no alien could understand, but always filled with the same weight of terror. One night, Vera stood on the observation deck, watching Earth's dead surface below. She felt a presence behind her and spun around. No one was there. But in the reflection of the glass, she swore she saw a human soldier standing, helmet cracked, eyes glowing faintly. When she blinked, the figure was gone. By the 5th day, the fleet was breaking. Officers refused to sleep. Crews whispered of ghosts haunting the corridors. The admiral grew furious, accusing his soldiers of weakness. But even he could not deny the truth when another warship vanished, this time, right before their eyes. On the command deck, the ship's solar spear was there one moment, its lights shining. The next moment, darkness. No explosion, no sound. Only silence. And then through the fleet's comes came a voice. Human, calm, cold. "We warned you." The fleet froze. Every commander listened, their scales trembling. The voice continued. "You thought we were gone. You thought we were weak. But you never understood. Fear is not what you feel. Fear is what we make you feel. You came here seeking ghosts. You found us instead." The comms cut to static. Admiral Kraft roared, demanding weapons be fired upon Earth. Dozens of missiles launched, raining fire upon the dead planet. Explosions lit the surface, turning cities to dust. But when the flames cleared, the ruins still stood. Not one building had fallen. Not one mark of damage remained. The crew stared in horror. It's impossible." Strategist Vera whispered, "They are playing with us. This is not their graveyard. This is their trap." That night, the last message came. One of the few surviving ships transmitted a desperate broadcast to the Dominion before it too fell silent. The message was broken, filled with screams, but the words were clear enough. Humanity never died. Humanity waits. And then the fleet was gone. Far away, in the Dominion's Grand Palace, the transmission was received. The leaders gathered again, listening in silence as the last screams of their fleet echoed through the chamber. None laughed this time. Strategist Vera, standing in the shadows, spoke quietly. They thought they knew fear, but humanity is something else. And in the silence that followed, the Empire shivered. The Sol system had become a graveyard. Where once 30 ships had entered, only a handful returned. The Dominion's most powerful fleet had vanished into silence. Only broken transmissions and screams had reached the Empire. Still, The Dominion could not accept the truth. They called it technical failure. They called it weakness of commanders. But whispers spread across the stars. Whispers of humans. The High Council ordered a second expedition. A larger one, this time 60 ships. They carried heavier weapons, stronger shields, and more soldiers. The mission was clear: enter Sol, discover the truth, and crush whatever remained. Among them was strategist Vera, the only survivor from the First Fleet. She had begged not to return. Her words fell on deaf ears. "You are the only one who has seen the shadows," the Council had told her. "You will guide us." Now she stood once again aboard a warship, staring at the distant star that once warmed Earth. Her scales felt cold despite the ship's heat. She remembered the whispers, the voices, the vanishing ships. Most of all, she remembered the human voice on the comms. "We warned you. When the fleet entered Sol, silence welcomed them. No resistance, no sign of enemies. Just the dead planets circling their old sun. Scanners online," Admiral Zern ordered, his voice harsh. "Find the humans. End this lie once and for all." The scanners swept the system. Mars dust and ruins. Venus a toxic wasteland. Jupiter storms, endless and raging. Nothing alive. Nothing human. At last, Earth appeared on the screens. The planet looked worse than before. Cities broken. Oceans black. No sign of movement. No warmth. One commander smirked. "So this is the Great Terror? A corpse world?" But Vera shook her head. "Do not trust what you see. They play with us." The Admiral growled. "Superstition. Humans are dead." Still, he ordered troops to land. 10 ships descended into Earth's atmosphere. The skies were gray and heavy. The clouds swirled unnaturally, as though watching the invaders. Soldiers marched through ruined streets. Buildings towered above them like hollow skeletons. Cars lay rusted in lines. Statues stood broken, their faces worn away by time. But the silence was the worst, not the silence of emptiness. It was too deep, too perfect. Not even the wind moved, not even dust stirred. The soldiers felt as if the whole planet was holding its breath. "Report," the Admiral demanded. A captain's voice answered through the comms. "No sign of life. Cities abandoned." But he hesitated. "Some walls. They carry strange markings." The fleet leaders ordered visual feed. The soldiers aimed their helmet cameras at the walls. Words appeared. Human words scratched deep into stone and metal. Old languages: English, Spanish, Chinese, Russian. Different voices from across Earth's history. But though the languages changed, the message was always the same: do not trust the silence. The soldiers laughed nervously. "Old madness," one said. Fear carved by survivors before they died. But Vera's claws tightened around the edge of her console. She remembered the First Fleet, the voices, the vanishing ships. She knew this was no madness. The troops spread deeper into the city. One squad entered an underground station. The air was heavy, the lights dim. Their footsteps echoed against the walls. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The soldiers froze. A sound came, soft, slow, steady. The sound of footsteps, but none of them were moving. "Identify," the captain shouted. No reply. Only footsteps, closer now, echoing through the tunnels. Then, a shadow moved at the edge of their lights. A human figure. Helmet cracked. Eyes glowing faintly. The soldiers opened fire. Bullets tore through the air, striking walls, breaking pipes. But when the smoke cleared, there was nothing. No body, no blood. Only silence. "Return immediately," the Admiral ordered. "Do not waste time with ghosts." The soldiers retreated, but one remained behind, frozen. His helmet feed showed him staring at something. "What is it, soldier?" The Admiral barked. The soldier's voice trembled. It's writing. Fresh writing. On the wall." The camera turned. New words glowed in the dark, still wet, as though carved only seconds ago. We see you." Then the feed cut. Panic spread. One ship tried to ascend from Earth's surface, but flames engulfed it mid-air. No explosion, no missile, just fire that appeared from nothing. Screams filled the comms before silence returned. Another ship lost contact completely. When search drones were sent, only a smoking crater remained. The admiral shouted orders, but the soldiers refused to follow. Fear grew faster than discipline. "Humans are dead," he roared. "These are tricks." But no one believed him. In orbit, the fleet faced its own horrors. Ships reported systems failing. Lights flickered. Engines powered down without cause. On one vessel, the crew swore they saw human figures floating outside the windows, without ships, without suits, just watching. When weapons fired at the figures, nothing happened. The humans did not bleed. They did not burn. They only stared, then vanished into the dark. On another vessel, the captain entered the command bridge to find his entire crew gone. No bodies. No signs of struggle. Only silence, and a single message scratched into the metal floor. "Fear the silence." Strategist Vera tried to warn them. They are not ghosts. They are hunters. We do not fight them in battle. We fight them in the mind. Every silence, every shadow, it is their weapon. But the admiral ignored her. His pride was greater than his fear. He ordered the fleet to unleash fire upon Earth once more. 60 ships rained destruction upon the planet. Explosions shook the ground. Flames swallowed cities. The oceans boiled. Yet, when the smoke cleared, the planet was unchanged. The same ruins stood, untouched. Not one stone had fallen. "How?" whispered a commander. "Our weapons mean nothing." Vera's eyes darkened. "Because they are not fighting to protect Earth. Earth is already dead. They are protecting something else. Something we do not see." That night, the whispers returned. Every comm, every radio, every speaker carried the same human voice. "Calm, cold, we warned you once, you did not listen. Now you belong to us." One by one, ships went dark. No battles. No explosions. Just silence. The crews screamed into the comms before fading away. Some begged for mercy. Others fired on their own ships, unable to bear the terror. Vera's ship trembled as systems failed. She heard footsteps in the corridors, slow and steady. She drew her weapon, but knew it was useless. The humans did not kill with bullets. They killed with fear. She whispered to herself, "This is the true meaning of terror." Her comms lit one last time with the admiral's voice. He was shouting, but his words broke into static. Only one sentence remained clear. "Humanity waits in the silence." Then his voice was gone. By dawn, the entire Second Fleet was gone. Back in the Dominion's palace, another message arrived. It carried no screams, no battles. Only a single human voice, speaking across the stars. "You thought you knew fear. You were wrong. We are still here, and we are waiting." The council chamber fell into silence. For the first time in their history, the mighty Dominion felt true terror. And in the darkness of deep space, the humans watched. The galaxy was restless. 2 fleets had entered Sol. None had returned. What came back were fragments of screams, broken signals, and human whispers that echoed across the Dominion's channels. For the first time in centuries, the mighty Empire did not celebrate victory. It whispered of ghosts, of shadows, of humans. The High Council tried to hide the truth, but fear spread like fire. Entire colonies whispered in dark taverns, "The humans are back. The silent planet waits." To crush this fear, the Dominion sent a 3rd fleet. Not explorers, not investigators, this time executioners. 100 ships bristling with weapons, titans of war. And with them, scientists, priests, and the Dominion's finest minds. "Erase the silence," the Council ordered. Erase humanity from history itself. Among the officers stood strategist Vera. the only one who had survived both the first and second expeditions. Her scales had dulled, her eyes darkened. She had begged to stay behind, but the council would not allow it. "You have seen them," they said. "Guide us." So once again, she returned to Sol. The fleet entered the system. Unlike before, the space around Earth was not quiet. Something waited there. Something watching. "Scanners detect movement," the sensor chief reported. "But the readings are strange. The objects appear, then vanish, as though they are not real." "Ghosts again," one commander muttered. But Admiral Vorak did not laugh. He had studied the reports of the lost fleets. He knew better than to mock. "Hold formation, shields up, weapons ready." The fleet crept closer to Earth. And then it appeared. Out of the black void, a shape slid into view. A ship, small compared to Dominion warships, old in design. Rusted edges, scarred hull, human markings faded by time. The bridge fell silent. "Identify." The Admiral demanded. The sensors locked on. "It is human. Model, centuries old, impossible. It should not even function." Yet it moved, smooth, silent, predatory. The human warship drifted across their formation, its lights glowing faintly. It did not fire. It did not speak. It simply watched. Then, without warning, one Dominion cruiser exploded. Not from outside attack, from inside. Flames tore through its hull. The screams of its crew echoed across the comms before silence claimed them. "Fire!" Admiral Vorak roared. Beams of plasma, missiles, and energy cannons lit the void. Hundreds of weapons struck the human ship. The stars themselves seemed to burn. When the light cleared, the ship was gone. Vanished. Double quotes where? The commander shouted. Before anyone could answer, the human ship reappeared. Behind them, intact, untouched. It fired once. A single shot. Another Dominion ship vanished into silence. Panic erupted. The fleet scattered, ships breaking formation. The human vessel moved like a predator among prey, striking silently, then fading into shadows. "It cannot be real," one captain whispered. "It is only one ship." But Vera knew better. She felt the weight of its presence. This was no ordinary vessel. This was not survival. "This was a message," she whispered. "They want us to see." The human ship finally spoke. A voice filled every comm, every screen, every speaker across the fleet. Calm, cold, human. "You thought we were gone. You thought we were weak. You thought war was fear, but you never understood. Fear is not the scream before death. Fear is the silence after." The fleet trembled. Officers froze at their stations. Soldiers clutched their weapons as if they could fight shadows. Then the voice continued. "We are humanity. We are not ghosts. We are not memory. We are the terror you never learned to fear." The Dominion tried to resist. "Deploy interceptors," Admiral Vorak barked. Hundreds of smaller craft launched from the carriers, swarming toward the human ship. For a moment, it looked like hope. The swarm surrounded the vessel. Missiles streaked through the void. Beams lit the black, and then darkness. Every interceptor went silent at once. No explosion, no debris. Just gone. The human ship remained, silent, watching. Fear spread faster. Then fire. Crews whispered of human soldiers walking their corridors, unseen by scanners. Captains reported voices whispering in their ears, warning them to flee. Some refused to fight. Others turned their weapons on their own ships, unwilling to wait for the silent hunters. On one ship, the crew recorded something before their end. A human soldier helmet cracked, face shadowed, standing in their bridge. The recording showed him smiling. Then the feed cut. The Dominion tried to study the phenomenon. Scientists spoke of cloaking fields, advanced weapons, psychological warfare. But their words meant nothing when another ship vanished right in front of them. Strategist Vera, Understood. She spoke to the admiral in a low voice. They are not stronger in numbers. They do not need fleets. They use fear as their weapon. Every silence, every shadow, every whisper, it breaks us before battle begins. That is why we never see their true army. Because the war is already won in our minds, the admiral glared. Then tell me, strategist, how do we fight shadows? She looked at him with dead eyes. We don't, the human voice returned. Do you feel it now? The silence that surrounds you? The silence of your dying fleet? This is not battle. This is judgment. The Dominion fleet broke. Ships scattered, firing blindly. Some tried to retreat, fleeing into hyperspace. None returned. The human ship moved slowly, deliberately, striking one after another. Vera stood frozen on her bridge, watching the destruction. She felt no anger, only understanding. For centuries, the Dominion had believed themselves masters of fear. They had broken species, crushed empires, erased cultures. But now, facing one human ship, they learned the truth. They had never known fear. At last, the human voice spoke again. You came to erase us, but you cannot erase fear. We are humanity, and we have become fear itself. The transmission ended. Human ship faded back into darkness. The surviving Dominion ships, broken and scattered, drifted in silence. Admiral Vorak collapsed into his chair, his pride shattered. What are they? He whispered. Strategist Vera answered softly. They are the first to make fear a weapon, and the last we will ever face. When fragments of the Third Fleet's transmissions reached the Dominion homeworld, the Empire trembled. They had sent 100 ships, only 3 returned. The survivors did not speak of victory. They spoke only of silence. The High Council, for the first time in history, sat in silence too. They had believed humanity weak. They had believed fear belonged to them. Now they realized the truth. Humanity had not died. Humanity had transformed, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Dominion was broken. They had sent 3 fleets into Sol. All had vanished. Hundreds of warships gone. Thousands of soldiers lost. What returned were whispers, fragments of human voices, and the cold truth. Humanity had not died. Humanity had become something else. The galaxy watched. Other empires, once afraid of the Dominion, now smelled weakness. Rivals circled like predators. And everywhere, whispers spread. Humans walk again. The silent planet waits. Fear belongs to them. The Dominion knew they could not stand alone. So for the first time in history, they called for alliance. From the far edges of the galaxy came fleets. The insectoid Krath Hive, the crystalline Shivari Concord, the machine-driven Velth automatons, even the proud Orthian lords. Old enemies, united by fear of one name, humanity. Together, they formed the Grand Coalition. 500 ships, millions of soldiers, weapons beyond imagination. Never before had the galaxy seen such a force. The Council declared, "We will burn Sol. We will erase Earth. We will end humanity forever." The fleet moved. A storm of power, cutting across the stars. Strategist Vera, chained by duty, stood among them. She had warned them again and again. You cannot fight shadows with fire. You cannot erase silence with guns. But no one listened. They believed numbers would protect them. They believed fear could be crushed by unity. Deep inside, Vera knew the truth. Humanity did not fight wars in numbers. Humanity fought wars in the mind, and soon, the galaxy would learn. The Grand Coalition entered Sol. The void trembled with their presence. Hundreds of ships glowed with weapons ready. Fighters swarmed like insects. Battleships loomed like mountains. They filled the skies around Earth until the sun itself was hidden. Admiral Vorak of the Dominion raised his claws high. Let the humans see. Let them tremble before our power. But Earth remained silent. Dead. Empty. Waiting. The coalition began their assault. Waves of fire rained down. Planet crackers, orbital cannons, missiles that could shatter moons all. Unleashed at once. The surface of Earth disappeared under fire. Explosions boiled oceans. Cities burned to ash. Smoke rose high into space. For hours, the fleet continued, pouring destruction until nothing remained but a burning scar. Finally, the bombardment ended. Silence followed. Admirals cheered. Commanders roared. It is done. Humanity is ash. But Vera stood cold. She whispered to herself, "No, this is only the beginning." The first sign came minutes later. A Shivari crystal ship screamed across the comms. Something inside our systems. Shadows moving in the core. Then silence. The ship did not explode. It simply dimmed. Its bright crystalline glow faded until it was nothing more than dead rock drifting in space. Then another ship fell. Then another. No weapons fired. No enemies appeared. The ships simply died one by one. Panic spread. Shields up. Vorak ordered, "Protect the fleet." But shadows moved across their screens. Ghost signals, human ships appearing and disappearing. Old vessels, rusted and broken, yet impossible to kill. Fighters launched to chase them. None returned, the humans. Finally spoke. Their voices filled every channel, every every ear in the fleet. Not shouting, not screaming, calm, cold. "We warned you. You came again and again. You thought numbers could save you. You thought unity could protect you, but you do not understand. You are not fighting us. You are fighting fear itself." Across the fleet, soldiers froze. Weapons slipped from hands. Even machines faltered, their logic cores overwhelmed by strange signals. On one ship, officers reported seeing humans walking the halls. Soldiers, civilians, children, faces from Earth's past. They smiled, whispered, then vanished. On another, the crew turned their guns on each other, convinced they were surrounded. Fear spread faster than fire. The Grand Coalition tried to resist. The craft hives swarmed forward, millions of insect ships screaming through the void. For a moment, it looked like power would prevail. But then their comms filled with human voices. The insects began attacking each other, driven mad by whispers only they could hear. Within minutes, the swarm collapsed into chaos. The Shivari fired their crystal lances. The beams shattered Earth's crust, splitting the ground apart. But from the cracks rose shadows, dark shapes of human soldiers, endless in number, marching through fire. The Shivari screamed as their ships turned dark, crystal light fading one by one. The Velf automatons, cold machines without fear, advanced without hesitation. But soon their systems were infected. Human faces appeared on their screens. Human voices rewrote their codes. The machines turned against each other, enslaved by ghosts in their circuits. Even the proud Orthians fell. Their lords, once fearless, broke when they heard the whispers of human children crying inside their ships. Their armies abandoned the fight, fleeing into the void only to vanish into silence. The battlefield became madness. Hundreds of ships burned. Others vanished. The sky above Earth turned red with fire and shadows. Soldiers screamed. Admirals begged for retreat. The Grand Coalition collapsed within hours. Only a fraction of the fleet survived. Among them was strategist Vera. Her ship drifted through the chaos, powerless, watching as humanity destroyed the greatest armada in history without ever revealing their true numbers. She understood now. Humanity did not need fleets. Humanity did not need armies. Humanity was everywhere, inside minds, inside systems, inside silence. They had become the war itself. At last, the human voice returned. "Do you see now? Do you understand? Fear is not a weapon you hold. Fear is a weapon we are. You thought you knew terror, but terror belongs to us. Remember this. Tell your galaxy, humanity waits." And then silence. The shadows faded. The battlefield was quiet. The burning scars on Earth remained, but the planet still stood untouched, unchanged. The 500 ships, less than 20 survived. They limped away, broken and shattered. No one cheered. No one celebrated. They fled like prey, haunted by what they had seen. When the survivors returned to the galaxy, they brought no victory. They brought only fear. The Grand Coalition was destroyed. The mighty empires were humbled. Every world, every colony, every race now whispered the same truth. Humanity is not dead. Humanity is terror. And in the quiet dark between the stars, the humans waited, watching. The war of shadows had ended. Humanity had not won with guns or fleets. Humanity had won with fear, and the galaxy would never forget. The galaxy was trembling. The Grand Coalition had been destroyed. The Dominion, once proud and unchallenged, had retreated in shame. Other empires whispered, feared, and hid. Humanity had not revealed its full power yet. And in the dark corners of space, humans waited, patient, silent, immortal in shadow. For centuries, they had vanished from the galaxy. Observers believed Earth was gone, humanity extinct. Yet, every whisper of fear, every vanished fleet, every shadow in the void revealed the truth. They had chosen to disappear, but they had not vanished to hide. They had vanished to become perfect hunters, masters of terror. The galaxy had believed. Fear was theirs, but humans had taken it and made it eternal. Admiral Vorak's fleet was in ruins. Only a handful of ships remained, crippled, drifting like corpses. Communications were filled with broken voices. Crew members screamed into the void. Some had lost their minds. Others could not speak, staring blankly at the stars as if the darkness itself were a live dot in the command bridge of the largest surviving ship. Vera stood. Strategist, witness, survivor. She had seen humans strike without battle, destroy fleets, without combat, and now she understood the truth. They are not fighting for Earth, she whispered to the Admiral. Earth is already dead. They fight for fear itself, and fear is eternal. Vorak shivered. Then how do we stop them? Vera did not answer. She already knew. There was no stopping them. Not with weapons, not with fleets. Humanity had become something else, something no empire had faced before. And then the humans revealed themselves. Across the void, shadows shifted. Fleets appeared without warning. Ships, ancient and new, merged from darkness. Fighters swarmed in silence. Human warships, small and large, moved like predators. Yet they did not fire. They only watched. Every sensor reading, every scanner, showed impossible technology machines that moved through void without thrust. Weapons that fired only when fear had taken hold. The human voice filled the void. Calm, cold. You believed you knew terror. You believed fear belonged to you, but you were wrong. Fear has always been ours. You only discovered it now, too late. Vorak's claws shook. How many are there? We are infinite, the voice replied. We are not counted. We do not sleep. We do not die. Humanity is everywhere you imagined safety and everywhere you feared the dark. The surviving coalition ships tried to flee, but every escape route was blocked. Warp lanes were shut down. Stars vanished behind dark fleets. The humans had already anticipated every move, every reaction, every hope. The first shots were fired, not by humans, but by the surviving fleets, panic-driven attacks. Missiles, lasers, energy cannons, but nothing worked. Every weapon malfunctioned. Every strike missed. Systems shut down spontaneously. Ships were ripped from within, consumed by nothing. One by one, the survivors disappeared, not in fire, not in explosions, only silence and whispers. You cannot run, the human voice said. You cannot hide. You are already afraid. And fear is eternal. Strategist Vera observed. Horrified and awed, she remembered the old human war records, the myths, the legends. They had survived empires thousands of times stronger by striking fear into the hearts of their enemies. They had destroyed fleets with cunning, misdirection, and terror before ever firing a shot. And now they had refined the art to perfection. They did not need numbers. They did not need armies. They only needed the galaxy's fear, and the rest would collapse. Vorak's voice trembled. They are not fighting. They are rewriting reality. Our own minds betray us. Vera nodded silently. Yes, they have become the war itself. Then came the final revelation. Across the horizon of space, Earth's ruins shimmered. The planet was alive again, not with life, but with human fleets. Emerging from every shadow, from every ruined city, from every destroyed colony. The humans had been hiding in the dead, in shadows, in systems forgotten by empires. Hundreds of ships, thousands of fighters, millions of humans, though their faces and forms were ancient, their numbers seemed endless. They spoke as one, their voice echoing across the void. You sought to erase us. You believed we were extinct, but humanity never dies. We only wait for the galaxy to remember fear. Wait for the stars to tremble. Wait for terror to become eternal. The surviving coalition vessels shook, even machines quivered. Alien. Minds could not comprehend what they saw. For the first time, the galaxy realized the truth. Humanity had not merely survived. Humanity had become the ultimate predator. The final attack began. Human fleets moved silently, enveloping every remaining ship. Shadows crawled along the hulls of Dominion warships. Soldiers on the decks heard footsteps behind them when no one was there. Commands were followed by silence. Communications echoed with human voices repeating, "Fear belongs to us." Ships turned on each other, convinced that enemies lurked within. Systems failed. Engines ignited spontaneously. Weapons malfunctioned. Within hours, the last coalition vessels were destroyed or vanished. The galaxy burned, not with fire, but with terror. After the fleets were gone, the humans returned to silence. Earth remained scarred, but alive in its shadowed ruin. Systems once occupied by humans now appeared empty, but the galaxy knew better. Humanity could hide anywhere, anywhere. Shadows, silence, abandoned worlds, all could become home. All could become weapon. Strategist Vera stood on her observation deck, witnessing the final messages of the remaining fleets. Survivors, broken and trembling, whispered across the void. They are everywhere. We cannot escape. Fear is theirs. Vera's claws tightened. She knew she could not stop them. No empire could. Humanity had chosen the ultimate path, vanished to survive, and survive to become eternal terror. The last human transmission echoed across the galaxy. We do not seek conquest. We do not seek planets. We do not seek glory. We seek only to remind you that fear is eternal. You thought you knew it. You thought it belonged to you. Humanity has shown its true meaning. Then silence, and the galaxy listened. Every corner of space trembled. Every race remembered. Every soldier, every commander, every empire knew that the humans were no longer ordinary. They were not just survivors. They were masters of fear itself. And humanity waited, patient, silent, eternal. In the quiet that followed, strategist Vera finally spoke. They thought they knew fear, until humanity showed them its true meaning. The words echoed across her ship, across the galaxy, across the stars, and in the darkness, humans watched, waited, and smiled. The war had ended. Humanity had not been defeated. Humanity had become terror itself.